Hello, you awakening wonders. This is Revolution. In this video, we are going to be discussing the moment Goku and Vegeta finally meet Gohan and Piccolo after the events of the superhero movie when they've attained Gohan Beast and Asanji Piccolo. Now, given what we know about Gohan and Piccolo's new power-ups, it's going to be a shock to Goku and Vegeta considering everything they've gone through, that these two characters are on par with them. So what will their reaction be? Will they challenge them to a fight? How will that battle play out? We'll talk about all the complexes that could potentially stem from them finding out about these new powers. Obviously, Goku and Vegeta have got their hands full with Frieza after the Granola arc. But just before we begin, if you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, it's your time to do so now. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? Smash that subscribe button and all notifications to be notified when I release new Dragon Ball content. Give the video a like if you happen to like the video. Thank you for your continued support. And guys, have your say down in the comments section. So obviously, the fact that Gohan and Piccolo have achieved these new power-ups to the level that they have does seem somewhat of an ass pull to most people. For me, especially Gohan, it makes ultimately no sense how he just randomly got that ass pull power up when we've seen him have rage moments throughout Dragon Ball Super and it didn't quite have that impact on his power. But ultimately, I think what's gone under the radar is that Goku and Vegeta will eventually come across these forms and what will be their reaction. Now, one of my favourite moments in the Dragon Ball Super anime was episode 90 when we got to see Goku and Gohan have a sparring match, fight if you will, because it pretty much ended with Gohan getting KO'd. Now obviously Goku's a martial artist and he will want to test himself against Gohan's power, as we know from Toriyama statements that Orange Piccolo is on par in terms of raw power with Goku and Vegeta, and it's likely referring to Goku and Vegeta at the time of the superhero events. The Granola arc events have already happened, they've transpired. Obviously we are about to undertake the manga adaptation of the superhero events, but as of now we don't know of any changes. If they do change, then obviously it changes certain circumstances, but ultimately Piccolo is on their level. We know that Orange Piccolo was no match at all for Cell Max, and this wasn't even a complete Cell Max. Gohan Beast was. Gohan Beast smashed this version of Cell Max. Now I know some of you will argue that Cell Max was also weakened by the time Gohan Beast got to him because of Gamma 2 self-destruct attack, but I think it was more than clear that Gohan had an overwhelming amount of power in accordance to Cell Max just by the ease that he blocked his punch and then kicked him. You could argue he did go for the weak spot with the special beam cannon, but I still believe that Gohan had more power than Cell Max at that time just by the hand-to-hand combat. So obviously what doesn't sit well with a lot of people in the fandom is that they've achieved these powers, yet Goku and Vegeta have been training throughout the whole of Dragon Ball Super. In fact, Dragon Ball Super has mostly been about Goku and Vegeta's journey into this level of power that they've acquired. Super Saiyan God, when it was first introduced, was presented as a huge power-up over even Super Saiyan 3. If we're looking mostly at the manga here, even as late as the Tournament of Power, Goku states that Super Saiyan God is in a different level from Super Saiyan 3, really emphasizing the difference between Super Saiyan God and the regular Super Saiyan forms. Then of course we get Super Saiyan Blue. Goku and Vegeta both have Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue. They perfect Super Saiyan Blue. They go through the whole Future Trunks arc where they undergo an intense battle with Merge Zamasu to basically acquire these perfected Super Saiyan Blue forms. Then of course we get to the Tournament of Power where they show the heightened forms of Super Saiyan Blue, where Goku demonstrates a Blue Kaioken type form, Vegeta demonstrates a Blue Evolution type form. Goku then achieves Ultra Instinct Sign and Mastered Ultra Instinct, or Silver-haired Ultra Instinct if you will. Vegeta then later acquires Ultra Ego. Even before that, they go through the Moro Arc events where, they undergo some really strenuous training. What's Gohan done in all this time? Well, he got his ass whooped by Frieza in ROF and did nothing. He was nowhere to be seen when a really close person in his life, well, close I guess you could argue because he's in the future, but they share some really important moments with each other. Future Trunks is basically having his world destroyed. Gohan does nothing. Until we get to the Tournament of Power, that's where the anime and the manga differentiate, because obviously Gohan does reacquire through 2 days of training, I believe it was, correct me if I'm wrong, his ultimate form, whereas in the manga, I'm not entirely sure what that is. I think it's trying to depict his ultimate form, but it looks like base form. But I always say it's his ultimate form or a variation of it. In the Moro arc, Gohan turns up with this sort of form again. He does appear to somewhat still be in a state of being a warrior. That's the term they often use with Gohan is he being a warrior? Does he have that warrior spirit like his dad and Vegeta? In the Moro arc, we literally see Goku get punched through the chest by Moro. Gohan has a rage moment and Moro basically just laughs it off. The difference in power between Moro and Ultimate Gohan at that point is just overwhelming, to the point where even a rage boost for Gohan basically did nothing. But obviously Goku and Vegeta are far stronger than that version of Moro with their Ultra forms. You know, before this, Goku's undertook training with Meirus in a time chamber. He's then trained with Whis to perfect his Ultra Instinct. Vegeta has trained on Yarjat with Spirit training, and then trained with Beerus and with Hakai training. They've undergone all this training, all these intense battles. But in Superhero, Gohan rages out by seeing Piccolo get killed again, or at least seemingly get killed. And he achieves this new form, which is supposed to be stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Even after the Granola arcs, there's been a period of time that passes and they've continued to train, and even with Broly at that point. But Gohan, at least in terms of raw power, is intended to be stronger. At least that's where the current material leads us to believe. Goku and Vegeta are obviously training in terms of preparing for Frieza. They brought Broly to Beerus' planet. It is to protect him from Frieza. Broly doesn't seem to be able to attain the power that we saw, potentially even in the Broly movie, depending on whether he can turn Super Saiyan or not. But he is under threat from Frieza. Of course, Goku and Vegeta will probably assume that Gohan is useless in a battle against Frieza and haven't considered him. Even if we go as far back as the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 tournament, when Gohan was considered, Goku dismissed it as he's not really a fighter anymore. Vegeta even states that Gohan has the most potential. This power-up might not necessarily surprise Goku and Vegeta. I think they'll be annoyed that he can attain this level of power without undergoing what they've gone through. In fact, I actually think they'll be more surprised about Piccolo's level of power, because they don't see that potential in Piccolo. They admire him as a warrior. They do call him up when it comes to things like the Universe 6 vs Universe 7 tournament. I think, if you remember, Goku told Piccolo he stood no chance against Frost. I mean, Frost is a weakling, but they didn't see him being able to compete with Frost, or at least being able to beat Frost. Of course, Piccolo was a joke in the Tournament of Power, getting knocked out by a bug. In Broly, he was only there to teach them the fusion dance. He was literally a dance teacher. In the Moro arc, you know, he was a joke again, wasn't really able to do anything. His role is literally fighting alongside Gohan now. They come more as a tag team. Their overall raw power was nowhere near Goku and Vegeta's. Especially we saw that when they fought against Sagambo, and Goku just turns up with blue and absolutely blitzes Sagambo. You could argue he used Sign as well. The levels of difference in power were just astonishing. Like, they were completely and utterly irrelevant in terms of power. And it's sad to think with, especially with Gohan, because we know he has actually had his moments where he's stronger than Goku. In the Cell arc, when he attains Super Saiyan 2, he surpasses Goku. With Ultimate, he surpasses Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the Buu arc as well. But since then, you know, he's just been studying bugs. Now, obviously, I say they would be surprised about Piccolo's power. I actually think Piccolo's power makes more sense than Gohan's power-up. Even though we know that Half Saiyans have a lot of potential, I think with the Namekian lore and their potential links to the Dragon Balls and potentially to Zalama, the Dragon God, I think there's directions to go with that particular power. That's just me theorizing. If I had to theorize about Gohan, I'd like to hope, and this is once again, guys, me theorizing, that this beast form is an evolution of his ultimate form, which is somewhat related to the creational side of God power, because he did learn this ultimate form from the Elder Kai. Call it idealism or wishful thinking, if you will. These characters are going to want to fight against Frieza, because obviously Frieza is going to launch an offensive against them at some point. It's likely against the gods. But obviously they can count on Gohan and Piccolo as allies in any fight against Frieza. Obviously with Broly is a loose cannon, one moment of despair and he's going to go into an absolute meltdown, whereas Gohan and Piccolo won't quite do that. And obviously when that moment comes, when they actually come across Gohan and Piccolo, personally I hope what they do show is Goku and Vegeta sensing from Beerus' planet, Gohan attaining Beast. I think that would be a really cool moment. As we know, when Gohan was on the Supreme World of the Kais in the Buu Saga, he could sense the power of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Obviously, Gohan Beast way surpasses that, and we don't quite know where Beerus's planet is, but surely it's within range now to that kind of power. If you look at the end of the Granola arc, Vegeta's asking Granola when he gets better, when he's fit and healthy again, he can always come and spar with him. So I think that is going to be what would happen when Goku and Vegeta encounter Gohan and Piccolo and react to their transformations. I think we will get a spar, very similar to what we saw in episode 90 of the Dragon Ball Super anime. I know we didn't get it in the manga. I kind of wish we did. Even though I liked what they did with the God of Destruction tournament, I think it would have been cool to see Gohan and Goku have a bit of a spar in that manga as well. Ultimately, I think we'll get a spar, and it'll be a 2-on-2 spar. That's what they've really been pushing with Gohan and Piccolo in particular, is that they fight as a pair now. Even with Cell Max, they finished him off in a pair. And obviously, we've just seen against Gas that Goku and Vegeta will fight together with their Ultra forms, Ultra Ego and Ultra Instincts. Now, who do I think is particularly stronger? I think just in terms of raw power, based on the information we've got so far, it is Gohan Beast. Even though I don't particularly like it, I do think it's a complete ass pull with Gohan. I do think it's him. I think Goku and Vegeta's forms are package forms, and they come with abilities and strengths, and they tend to get stronger the longer they fight, depending on the type of fight. With Vegeta, if he takes damage or thinks of destruction, he gets stronger. With Goku, the calmer he makes his heart, the stronger he can get. Or with True Ultra Instincts, he can use his emotions to help him get stronger that way. With Piccolo, it seems to be like he's just at that level as well in terms of power. Like I said before, we don't know too much about Gohan and Piccolo's powers to know what they really come with, but we'd likely find out in this particular instance when it happens. I think in a 2-on-2, Goku and Vegeta would struggle. They do struggle to fight with each other. We all know that. As I've said before in other videos, I think Vegeta could easily break apart Piccolo with his Force Spirit Fission. I don't think Gohan would do particularly well against Mastery of Self-Movement either. I don't think he's a clever enough fighter to deal with Goku's Ultra Instincts. So even if they do have the power advantage, and that is a big if, I don't think they can cope with the equalizers that Goku and Vegeta have, as well as the fact that they get stronger as the battle goes. And we know Piccolo gets weaker, and Gohan likely gets weaker as well as the battle wears on. But ultimately, I think this will be a really cool battle to watch, especially if we ever get Dragon Ball Super 2. If we ever get that damn anime, then I think this would be a really good episode to watch, just like episode 90. It was one of the better ones of Dragon Ball Super's initial run. So guys, this is where you come in. What do you think will happen when these four meet each other and discover each other's new forms? Do you think they'll spar? Who will win that spar? Will any of them get angry the fact that they've been surpassed? Maybe Vegeta? What would Beerus's reaction be to Gohan Beast, considering he saw the Super Saiyan God as supposedly being his rival in his prophetic dream? It's just a particular instance that's not really been considered that much, is that how will Goku and Vegeta react to these new forms? The fact that Piccolo can now match them as well, I think Goku will be happy about both of them attaining new powers, whereas Vegeta, I think he'll be a bit frustrated that he's done all this training and, these characters seem to be at their level. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and have your say. That's why I do this, guys. It is really important that you have your say down in the comment section. Make sure you subscribed. Help me get to 20,000 subscribers. You could be that 20,000th subscriber. Smash the like button. Lend the Daishinkin your energy. Until next time, Ad Astra.